The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good.
Hi, Tom.
How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico and Haan and Clarke.
Well, good morning. I'm Paige Clarke. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, and wild world.
To recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms, and I'm Nico and Haan.
It's a beautiful day here in downtown Clearwater, Florida, 54 degrees. Hope you're having some nice weather, staying warm and dry, but get out and see that sunrise a little bit today and
That's right. And
enjoy
also
that.
pick up our Health Signals newsletter. I got a great, a great article about nutrition for wireless radiation protection. We've been talking about that a lot. We'll continue to talk about that because that's definitely in the news today.
That's right. We've got some info on that today.
And also, of course, please pick up our Primal Edge, our one-shot wonder, over 310 organic, cell-ready ingredients. It's liquid ingredients, real easy to take, and it's powered by fulvic and humic acid to let the good stuff in.
And the bad stuff out.
That's right.
And we can take your phone calls this morning, bright and early, 877-927-6648.
That's right.
So, Nico, today I'm going to talk a little bit about water. I wanted to, you and I had bannered some articles back because we've been talking about the importance of getting the right water in that gives us the best opportunity to avoid chronic disease, and that's deuterium depleted water. And you say, what the heck is that? Well, we're going to explain it to you.
Right.
But I saw this little article today because I was thinking about the morning, and everyone is obsessed with drinking lemon water. It's kind of become almost a health and hygiene staple that people start their day. So let's explore a little bit of the benefits of
Yeah, I
lemon
know it's
water.
in the restaurants and everybody, would you like lemon with that? Or, and they give you a little slice, but it's nice to get a little chunk in there too. So
Yeah, so does this little cheap, inexpensive way of kind of spicing up our water, what are the health benefits of it? And so, discussing that, some nutritional professionals were answering the question, does lemon water really deliver? Because after we sleep, after 8 hours of sleeping, we truly are a little dehydrated.
yeah.
And adding lemon into the water gives you a refreshing taste. And it's really the water that's giving you the benefit, if it's getting you to drink water, because we really, truly are dehydrated when we wake.
Yeah, if you put a little lemon in it, that's a little bit of an acid base, so that will probably spur your stomach on to produce a little bit more acid, or alkaline yourself a little bit. I think that's probably what it does. It probably alkalines it a little bit.
Yeah, so
Your body's always trying to get into the homeostasis of the right pH. And it's always going to do that. So the things that we put in will either trigger it one way or the other way.
that's right.
Okay.
Because most people just don't drink enough water. So, many people find that when they start their day with that lemon water, they'll experience less constipation, tighter skin, weight loss, etc. But dehydration can actually slow your metabolic rate, and that might be exactly what's happening. When we're dehydrated, our body slows down.
So the repairs are not being done, and the maintenance is not being done.
Energy is not being produced.
Right.
And most lemon water linked weight loss happens when people use it to replace some of the high-calorie, empty nutritional value beverages that
and that's
people are
what
drinking.
I find. Yeah, in fact, just drinking water alone is beneficial because then you're not drinking the Pepsi or the Coke or maybe some juices early in the morning, spiking your sugar, doing all kinds of havoc in your body.
And guys, remember that when you get dehydrated, brain fog sets in. And you don't need to have any brain fog when you're here trading like you guys are in the Tiger's Den, or for that matter, anybody who's listening to the show. But sipping any kind of water, whether it's hot, cold, flavored, or plain, really will help with dehydration. Because the lemon water isn't necessarily magical, but if it has some benefits, you're getting a little bit of vitamin C and some of those bioflavonoids.
Yeah.
And but this article says there's no studies that support the claim the benefits of lemon water. And the lemon itself isn't actually providing a ton of nutritional value. After all, it's just a small sliver.
Yeah, there's all kinds of claims like it's good to beat cancer with it, but it by itself is not. But I think it's a good start because you're generally drinking something else, which is probably not good for you. So just by starting out with water or putting a little lemon in the water, it's definitely a good thing to do.
Well, like they said, when you're looking at the actual milligrams, a slice of lemon might have 1 or 2 milligrams of vitamin C, where we really need about 75 to stay healthy. So that's not the place that you're going to get all your vitamin C for sure.
That's not the only thing you're going to do, so I think it's a good start.
But there's a lot of people that feel that lemon water can really assist in detoxification, and through its acidity, as you mentioned earlier, somehow alter pH. But I don't like people to think that they should look at their food or their water. Our kidneys and liver and so forth really do manage the pH, and they use some of the resources, but our food and water are not really going to greatly impact that.
No, what the real problem is the other stuff you're putting in your body that isn't good, and those are the sodas. And if we're talking strictly about liquids, we're talking about sodas. We may be talking about alcohol. We may be talking about the quality of the water too, which we often do.
And that's exactly where I want to go with this next.
Okay.
Because for those of you who have been listening to our show and paying attention to a lot of the stuff that I've been sharing regarding my studying with Dr. Jack Kruse, you may have heard about deuterium depleted water and health. And this article comes from the site Blue Blocks. My friend Andy Mant, he sells fantastic blue blocking glasses along with Matt Maruka of Raw Optics. I'm going to try and get them both to give some coupons that people can get for their glasses. But they're following all of this body of research. So if you've been mixing it up and following the biohacking circles recently, or following Dr. Jack Kruse or Paige and Nico, you've probably heard of deuterium, and the complex blogs and posts perhaps have confused you. And I promised that we would sort of do a primer on why deuterium depleted water is healthy for us. So because a lot of people get into the quantum physics and the biochemistry of it, it gets a little complicated.
Yeah.
So here is that explanation that fills in that missing gap and creates a general overview of deuterium and what it means.
Deuterium is an isotope of hydrogen. An isotope is another form of the same element that contains the equal number of protons, but what difference is the number of neurons in the nuclei. Neutrons,
yeah.
Excuse me, in the nuclei. Isotopes, therefore, have differing masses, but their chemical properties and how they behave in most chemical reactions are identical.
So hydrogen has 2 isotopes, deuterium and tritium. We will not discuss the deuterium.
Tritium. It's a tongue twister.
I think it's tritium, but instead focus on deuterium. Deuterium has the neuron in its nuclei, and it makes it more dense than hydrogen. So we know if we're mostly water, 60% water, and water is H2O, we can see the importance of hydrogen. Think of hydrogen as the hydrogen cell, a hydrogen bomb. It creates the energy.
Right.
So water is the source of the hydrogen bomb that gets us our energy.
Yeah.
So when we come back from our short break, we're going to talk about the role of hydrogen in the body and how it's essential for energy production in humans. So while you're at it, pick up some Primal Edge and stay with us.
There you go. I think it's a good idea to do.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Very silly. Oh, that's right. So, yeah, we were just talking about the protons and neutrons and taking you back to high school chemistry.
Yeah, and taking a look at the role of hydrogen in our body. You know, hydrogen is essential for the energy production in us. Mm-hmm. The most common form of hydrogen in the body is water, because our body's 60% water. It's easy to see why it's important. Now, at a quantum level, hydrogen plays a vital role in the mitochondria function.
Mitochondrial health.
Mitochondria is also the powerhouse batteries of the body. You know, these are the powerhouses, and they ultimately facilitate the energy production.
That's right, Nico. We talk about that all the time. Right. It's really our mitochondrial cells, organisms, that actually create the energy in our body. So I want you to picture this. So, you know, because we're really trying to explain to you why deuterium depleted water is the water you want to have.
Right.
So within the mitochondria, there's a spinning head that rotates really fast. And this rotational speed of the spinning head determines how efficient you create energy.
That's right.
Okay?
The faster the spinning head rotates, the more energy you make and the healthier you're going to be.
Conversely, the slower the spinning head rotates, the less energy you will make, and this leaves you more susceptible to chronic mismatched diseases and faster aging. So if the spinning head creates a magnetic field, the faster the spinning head rotates, the stronger the magnetic field.
Yeah, and I always picture planets and the sun being the nuclei and the planets going around it, and this is just another form that Einstein was always looking for. So as above, so below, the smaller, also the larger. So this is really fascinating, and this really explains, so let's go on with this.
So the faster the head spins in the mitochondria, the greater the magnetic field. The greater the magnetic field, guess what? Oxygen is paramagnetic, which means it is attracted to magnetic fields where there's good magnetism.
That's right.
Why is there magnetism near water features in nature, right? So a healthy magnetic field created by optimal mitochondrial function will draw oxygen into your mitochondria, the energy producers of our cells, and we all know we need oxygen.
That's
right?
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So the fuel that feeds the spinning head is hydrogen.
That's
Hydrogen
the content.
enters the mitochondria inner membrane and slots snugly at the top of the spinning head. As hydrogen is fed into the spinning head, it grows faster, and you have a healthy level of energy production.
And you have a higher magnetic field.
And the less chance of chronic diseases.
The less hydrogen that enters the spinning head, the less it rotates, and this means less energy production and a higher chance of chronic disease and a weakened magnetic field. So hydrogen is very important to optimal human survival when we look at it at a quantum level. So this is very much how we've introduced you. We've had Robbie Bessner on the show, and we talked about producing the exclusion zone, creating water that's a wetter water that we can use better for
It
energy.
rotates and it spins itself. It has the jewels in there, the different stones that help clean it and give it that electric charge.
Give it that magnetism. So let's talk about it. Let's add another level to it.
Okay.
Let's enter deuterium.
Okay.
Okay? So deuterium, as we mentioned from that graph earlier, is actually an isotope of hydrogen. And it performs the same as hydrogen in chemical reactions outside the body. However, once deuterium gets inside of our bodies, it behaves different than hydrogen. In essence, deuterium will follow the exact same pathway as described above, but deuterium will enter the body and pass into the mitochondria and find itself at the top of that spinning head, ready to assist in energy production and create a magnetic field.
Yes, the spinning head is specifically designed by nature to accept hydrogen in its standard form. So that is one proton and one electron.
Deuterium contains a neutron, as Al played the neutron dance, right?
That's right.
Contains a neutron, and the spinning head says, what the heck's this?
It's not equipped to handle it. It's not wide enough for it. There's a lot of stuff going on in there.
And when we have deuterium in the body, it cannot pass through the spinning head well. It kind of gums up the system and ultimately slows down the rotation, and it reduces our energy production and lowers our magnetic field strength.
Yeah, and then less oxygen is drawn from the blood, energy levels reduce, and your redox potential decreases. A lowering of a redox potential,
Let's go redox.
Okay, means a high increase in your risks of chronic disease. So when the things get gummed up and everything slows down, then you're going to be at more risk because the oxygen or the hydrogen can't enter the cell because the deuterium is there.
That's exactly right. That's what we're seeing, folks, in mitochondrial diseases, which are, in effect, almost all the chronic diseases we see today from A to Z. So what we can take away from this is deuterium is not good if you want to live a long and disease-free life. We need to remove it from our bodies. So how? How do we remove it? Well, we can understand at a basic level that the deuterium is not good, and how we get it out so that the receptor sites are available for the fast-spinning capability that is provided with pure hydrogen in our water.
Yeah,
That's a great picture of water, because what we're learning, and we're going to talk about it, is Icelandic water. You know, we've talked about the cold glacial water is actually naturally deuterium depleted.
Yeah, because actually the ice is what soaks up the deuterium.
And yeah, exactly.
And takes it out of the water. So this is why, if you've ever been climbing out in the woods somewhere and you see some water and there's some ice on there and you take a drink from that, you can really tell that's just crystal clear, pure Mother Nature water. That's so good.
I can't wait. You know, I'm going to see my son in Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
And I'm going to plunge. I'm going to do my cold thermogenesis in Lake Tahoe, and I'm excited. I'm going to be in all that.
So how do we get the type of water? That's the real question in my mind.
So water is the quickest and most surefire way to get rid of deuterium and replace it with hydrogen.
Yep.
Okay? And water can be divided into two different categories. So for this discussion's sake, there's heavy water, which means it has high deuterium content. And then there's light water, or water that has a low deuterium content. Deuterium depleted water, or low deuterium depleted water, is the best way to do this. Deuterium depleted water can be obtained in 3 different ways.
Yeah, one is a reputable brand that sourced their water from the ancient glacial regions. Freezing reduces the deuterium content.
Yeah, there's literally companies that you can order deuterium depleted water and you can have it shipped to your house, and that may be an option. Another one is reverse osmosis water.
It's a good way to go too. Yeah, because that usually you put that into the source where it's coming from into your house, so everything gets deuterium depleted through the
the only thing with reverse osmosis, then you've got to re-energize it because it's
no
missing
doubt.
some.
Yes. Yeah.
And the number 3 is making your own at home. And Andy, who wrote this article, he personally uses RO water, and because he doesn't trust the companies to get the water. And a lot of people, Jack orders some Icelandic glacial water in bottles. Some of us don't like the plastic bottles, but he feels the water is so much better, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So you have all these options.
Of course, the treatment of the plastic bottles have gotten better, so there's less leakage in the bottles these days.
So really you go, here's a way you can make deuterium depleted water at your own house. So let's talk about it. So you place some water in a freezer and make sure that the lid is loose. The water's going to expand, right?
You allow that to freeze just enough so the surface in the outer edges has a thin crust of ice on it.
Yeah, just get that top layer of ice. So you then remove the water from the freezer and you pour off the light water, leaving the ice behind. You can use a sieve for this, and the collection of ice can be thrown out. And you can complete this first cycle a second time.
Yeah, I think it's three times they want you to do this.
And then you now have deuterium depleted water. And we're going to talk about some tips of how you can, the certain foods that you can eat that are going to encourage deuterium depletion, and some other lifestyle things. Stay with us. We'll be right back after the break.
We'd like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
So we were talking about the how to get this deuterium out, and water is one way, of course. And once you start drinking this type of water, you'll flush the deuterium out of your body, and your energy level will increase along with your magnetic field, and you'll radically reduce the risk of chronic disease.
How beautiful is that?
It's fantastic. Now, the other thing that you tied into this, which was beautiful too, was the food.
That's right.
And that's always my passion there too.
That is right, Nico.
So food is the other means by how water gets into your body. The best way to create the DDW in your body is through a process called beta oxidation. When we eat dietary fat, your body produces energy, carbon dioxide, and water. The water is completely deuterium depleted.
Oh, that's worth repeating.
That's it.
Guys,
the water is completely deuterium depleted.
this is why fat, healthy fats, is such a good part of a healthy diet.
Yes.
And the water is completely deuterium depleted. The water that causes our mitochondria to run at optimal levels. So beta oxidation is primarily facilitated by the mitochondria, specifically within the inner membrane, the same place where the spinning head is located. So therefore, a diet that's high in healthy fats is a great way to get the deuterium into your system and reduce the likelihood that you get gummed up spinning heads and end up with chronic disease and body aches and slowness. This is just such a great picture, I think.
Yes, it's wonderful. Yeah, this is, and when they list the foods on here, and we're going to go over that, they kind of list it in the wrong order, I believe, because the picture says it all. This is the #1 food I'm going after. And if it was wild, it would even be better. But they mentioned green plants, and they mentioned nuts, and they do have some good fats in here. Very hard for our body to assimilate, however. So if you want the best, you're going to go to the grass-fed animals.
And the
You're going-
fish.
And the fish, and young food, which means the sprouts, all those little things that are really, really good and fresh.
Or the tiny sea creatures. And,
Yeah,
little-
exactly. And if you look at cows in the pasture, they're always going to go after that young, fresh grass.
It's really fat from plants and animals that are getting what's their natural diet and environment,
That's right.
basically.
And
So
then
they're foods that
conversely-
you should limit if
Yeah.
you want to make sure you can get rid of the deuterium.
And
That's
you
what
never-
it is.
And you need to pay attention to this, folks. Fruits, potatoes, grains. Plants get rid of the deuterium by putting it in their sugar storage.
So what does that tell you when you eat a big piece of fruit?
That's where the sugar is.
Where the sugar is, that's where it's going to be. You're going to have a lot of deuterium. Now, the other thing we know from following circadian rhythms and so forth, when is it more likely? We've learned circadian mismatch. So, eating a sugar-filled, deuterium-filled banana
There you go.
in Boston during a snowstorm is a circadian mismatch,
Yeah.
and it fills the body with deuterium.
Especially at night.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, night.
No sun.
Yeah, exactly. And so we see this. So the foods that you should limit so that you can release this slow energy producing, this water that depletes your energy, that stops you from being the hydrogen bomb that you are, is the fruit, potato, and grains, and grain-fed animals, which is what we get mostly in the restaurants that we go out to.
That's right. The other thing is older food is higher in deuterium because young food really loses its ability to hold it. So the longer the food is around, the more deuterium gets in there. So this is why if you're going to eat food that has already been cooked, you need to really seal it properly. Vacuum sealing is the best method I know.
Well, I think this could also be for fruits and vegetables.
Yes.
You stop and you think about it. If you get an apple or something and it's been traveling around the country for a couple,
Well, the reason they pick them sooner is so they'll ripen, and the ripening is actually the sugar oxidation that takes place. And you leave a banana out for a long time, it starts turning brown. That's the sugar content in it. So the older it is, the more sugar gets in there, and that's a problem because that's where the deuterium is.
So I hope this summary was good. So in essence, we need to drink deuterium-depleted water, whether you buy it, whether you acquire it, whether you create it yourself, and you want to eat foods that are naturally low in deuterium, and these are things such as high-fat, healthy fats, pastured animals, seafood, fish, vegetables, and some nuts. We want to avoid the starchy, sugary foods and simple sugars and the manufactured meat and non-natural grain-fed animals. So I think that's, hopefully that gives you guys an idea.
Yeah, and I read somewhere that deuterium also goes into fermented foods a little bit more. So, you have to be careful, and that has to do with histamine more than it does deuterium, I think, though.
Yeah, so just a couple other facts I'm going to show you. I went to the other deuterium article. Deuterium and aging, the most widely accepted theory on aging supposes that the aging process is correlated with a gradual accumulation of errors in our DNA. So according to Clarke, who's a senior member of technical affairs at NASA, the number of irreversible errors in the DNA sequence is directly influenced by deuterium.
Yeah, the lower the deuterium concentration, the lower the frequency of the irreversible errors in the DNA structures.
So as we've mentioned, there's a lot of biological effects of deuterium depleted water, and most of us, as we've talked about, we've covered it. We've kind of covered what deuterium is, and natural deuterium depletion. Here's some points. Since evaporation favors hydrogen over the heavier deuterium, water vapor is low in deuterium.
And this is why distilled water is really good for you. And that's why I drank it for so many years until Robbie came along with his method. So distilled water gets rid of that deuterium.
Well, I personally think distilled water and then re-energized through the Thera water is a great way, because it's like the water that was evaporated and then you re-energize it with the stones.
I agree.
Because in reality, it's got to be better than the tap water. We want to get it clean, but a lot of people just really believe we need to get reverse osmosis or distill.
Natural deuterium concentration depends on the number of factors. One is temperature and season. Water in cold climates has less deuterium. Water in warmer climates has more. Winter precipitation contains less deuterium than the summer precipitation. Water sources such as fresh and oceans contain more deuterium than the freshwater. Deuterium concentration at the Atlantic and Pacific remains fairly constant at 156 parts per million, but polar oceans have much lower concentration. Again, the ice is absorbing the deuterium.
And altitude. Water at high altitudes has less deuterium. So you're thinking of those glacier.
And you're thinking of the people that are living those, and they always have that healthy body.
That Hunza people.
Yeah.
And they said they're drinking that milky glacial water. Water from the Rocky Mountains in western United States has been measured with 136 part per million deuterium.
Yeah, and then there's the distance from the coastline and also a distance from the equator. Heavier water precipitates first, so the surface water along the western coastlines contain more deuterium than inland areas.
And then finally, the distance from the equator. Equatorial waters contain more deuterium than water at the poles. We mentioned that water from Antarctic ice measures 90 parts per million deuterium, and water beneath the Sahara Desert measures 180 parts per million. We see this, then we we swell more in the summer. We get bigger. Water is cold is contracting, warmth expands.
Right.
So we might see that. So we really do want to drive home this point that the research shows that the consumption of deuterium-depleted water gradually reduces your body's deuterium concentration. And this is healthy. It creates greater energy. We're going to take a short break.
Yep.
And we've got a little clip to show you when we get back. And so stick with us.
Stick around, folks.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionics, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
The data we're going to look at are all published science, testing results, or public standards. At the bottom end of the radiation scale of what's called power density or signal strength is the minimum level at which cell phones will work, which was found to be 0.2 billionths of a microwatt per centimeter squared. Pine needles were found to age prematurely at 0.000027. At short-term exposures of 0.5, children aged 8 to 17 experienced headache, irritation, concentration difficulties, and behavioral problems. 0.1 is the biobiology or building biology guideline for extreme concern. 1.0 produced sperm DNA fragmentation and a decrease in sperm viability in vitro. Also at 1.0, the science shows the following bodily effects can occur: headaches, dizziness, fatigue, insomnia, chest pain, difficulty breathing, and indigestion. 2.5 saw altered calcium metabolism in heart muscle cells. 4.0, changes in the hippocampus affecting brain memory and learning. And at 6.0, DNA damage in cells. So, where are smart meters on this list? Electrical Power Institute in December 2010 measured a single Itron smart meter with pulses up to 7.93 microwatts per centimeter squared. Our own testing indicated approximately 8.0 with 1 meter. These tests are at a close distance, approximately 1 foot away from the meter, but an infant's crib could be just as close on the other side of the wall where the meter or bank of meters are installed. Even though there are all these known health effects at levels far lower, Switzerland, Liechtenstein, and Luxembourg see fit to set the standard at 9.5. And China, Poland, and Russia, 10.0. This is the same level at which behavior has been altered, producing reflexes of avoidance following 30-minute exposures. A room of 12 smart meters, very common and even a conservative number in an apartment building, tested at 19.8 microwatts per centimeter squared. This is hundreds of times higher than levels which clearly indicate harmful effects. So how can utilities and governments get away with forcing these devices on everyone? This is how. In Canada and the US and several other civilized countries, the safety limit is set at 600 to 1,000 microwatts per centimeter squared. This so-called safety limit is literally tens of thousands of times higher than levels which are known to damage health, according to peer-reviewed published science.
Pretty interesting, huh?
Houston, we have a problem. And the problem is that there is a severe lack of serious, credible, evidence-based education about how to prevent, diagnose, and treat EMF-related health problems and illnesses. And for those of us that are into natural health, we realize you cannot get well in the same environment that made you sick. And our environment is making us sick. And we can talk about our food and our water, but this stuff that we're being exposed to is astronomical. I want to share with you guys a new course. It's called The Solution, Electrosmog RX. My friend Nick has put together this opportunity. I'm going to be getting the training. Quite frankly, it's for practitioners, but in my mind, any practitioner that is not trained in the dangers of electromagnetic fields is not going to be able to help you get well or stay well. And I think you might even want to take it. And I don't know if Al can put it, but I have a link. It's actually my link. It's like an affiliate link. But if you want to be part of our group, we're doing the beta training on this. Nick just wrote a book, and it's called The Tinfoil Guide to EMFs. And many famous doctors, such as Dietrich Klinghardt, who's world-renowned health pioneer and medical director at the Sophia Health Institute in Europe. Here's Nicholas Pinault. He's an investigative health journalist. He's going to come on our show the next couple weeks while we're doing this course. But his new book, The Non-Tinfoil Guide to EMFs, it's been endorsed by Dr. Mercola and acclaimed by dozens of health practitioners. If you'd like to get involved in this course, which is launching in the next week, you're going to be learning how you can implement EMF remediation strategies for yourself and your family members, and I think you're going to find out that this information is just crucial. And Nick has put this together and really helped connect the dots between the evidence-based information currently available on EMFs, human health, and we're going to have a lot of experts speaking and a lot of how-tos and what to do. So if you want to be one of the 100 health practitioners, actually they sold out, and so they just opened up 200 more seats. And so I don't know if I will show the link or not, but if not, just contact me and I can help you get signed up. We're going to start on March 12th, which is next week, and there'll be a private Facebook group, and you'll get the webinars to kind of go over the EMF basics, the EMF science, and the symptomology. So if in the mitigation for it, and how to be resilient in an EMF-tainted world. So, folks, either way, I'm going to be sharing this stuff with everybody.
Cool. I'm glad you're going to that. We're going to be out of town, so we won't be going to it. But
well, it's on the webinar.
It's on the webinar.
Oh, it's webinar based, but yeah. So there's going to be about 5 different sessions, and then
starts March 12th, 5 p.m. Pacific time, so that's 8 p.m.
Yeah. So you just have to get on your computer to be a part of the group.
Yep. So that's and I'll put this, of course, in the next. Health Signals newsletter.
Yeah, because you can join in. Assuming there's some seats open, but I just wanted you all to know we're going to be, Nico and I will be staying cutting edge on all of this for you all, so that we can share that.
That's very interesting to me, that's for sure. And of course, in today's world, there's a lot of EMFs floating around. The smart meters are just one of the things. We talked about the Wi-Fi, we talked about our phones, we talk about all the wires. Remember all those pictures from the 1900s? Those wires are still there, we just don't see them. Now they're just flying through the air. So this is a problem of modern living. And we do have some solutions, and the solutions, of course, is some of the water things that we do, and then, of course, some of the detox that we always talk about, your red lamp detox, cold water therapy. All these things help to get rid of the deuterium and make you healthier. And, of course, the food was a big thing, and this is part of it that I didn't know, that the fat, the stuff that we always talk about that's so essential for us, is the very thing that helps remove these things.
That's exactly right.
It's very cool, and it really falls in line with our way of thinking. And as we go through this program, and I've been doing this program for 10 years, I learn something every single time. By doing this research and bringing it to you, we learn too. And I think in today's world, we need this because we're bombarded with everything. And it's not just these things going through the air. There's also a lot of false information that's going through, too, especially about health.
Well, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So we're going to touch on this, and we'll finish it up with this, the carnivore diet, a panacea for autoimmunity and disease of westernization. We touched on that when we talked about the article about deuterium depleted water. We talked about how eating grass-fed animals or the seafood that's there often creates the best water situation in our bodies with the deuterium depleted water. So I want to touch on this article by Kelly Hearing.
I love her, and she always brings into the forefront that there is an epidemic in our modern world. And
Of chronic diseases.
Yes, it is. And they're all related to one thing, the way we live.
The way we live, and that's the EMFs, the food, the water, how we think, how we breathe, what we move. So let's continue the conversation. We'll take a short break. See you in just a few moments.
You don't buy into that nonsense, do you? You know you can't time the markets. I didn't. And in 2006, I set out on a mission to do just that. I began by surrounding myself with the greats like Tom O'Brien, Larry Pesavento, David White, and Basil Chapman. I read countless books and even looked to the moon and planets for answers. Now, we both know that trading is 80% mental. So I learned the exact tools that Tony Robbins uses to overcome fear. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability. Last March, the folks at Timers Digest began tracking my newsletter signals, which through January 18, 2018, placed me as the #1 gold timer for that exact time frame. Now, I can't officially be recognized until Timers Digest has a full year of signals, but clearly I've learned how to time the markets, and I'd like to teach you how to do that as well. Subscribers to Mastering Probability gain access to my live and archived workshops where I show you the exact same patterns that earn me this #1 ranking. If you're looking for great market calls and an education, sign up for Mastering Probability today at TFNN.com.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Okay, so we're talking about the food now. That's the real, the next stop or the last stop on the totem pole. We talked about the water and all this thing that's going on, but the food is what we consume most of. So that means it has the largest impact for getting rid of this deuterium. And there are a lot of things that are not on that are on the planet that really don't want to be eaten.
Well, we were talking about
those.
Yeah, exactly. We were talking about the chronic disease, and I like what Kelly says here. She says we we have a syndrome epidemic.
Okay.
You know, we've got a syndrome is defined as a group of symptoms that consistently occur together. We've got chronic fatigue syndrome. We've got the body ache syndrome. We've got the irritable bowel syndrome. You have bloating. So, of course, hand in hand with the syndrome epidemic are these autoimmune disorders, or as we've categorized them. And there's over 23 million people in the United States alone that are diagnosed with these syndromes. And so what's going on? Well, as you go down and look at it, some people are actually realizing that if they switch their diet around, they may actually be able to recover.
Yeah.
You know? And
I like what it says here. It is possible that a meat-only diet can help reverse autoimmune disorders, quell inflammation, and alleviate severe pain and suffering for millions of people.
And it's like she says, it's a very controversial diet, and that diet is a carnivore diet.
Yeah.
It's growing more popular by the day. It's a diet that's helped thousands of people, and possibly soon millions, to put an end to debilitating symptoms. Because if you look at the telestrator, what is that? It's a tomato, and everybody immediately thinks it's a vegetable, so it's a healthy plant. But quite frankly,
It's a fruit.
what if it's a toxic plant? Okay?
Nightshade.
And what if the plants you're eating are making you sick? Well, in fact, many people are finding out that some of the plant kingdom, plants don't want to get eaten, folks. Why? They put out chemicals that make it very hard for you to digest them. So if the plants you're eating are making you sick, maybe you need to eliminate these. So many people are told to eat more fruits and vegetables, but that might be a little irony. It may be that you want to move down into the meat group. Maybe you got that picture you wanted to show.
The meat?
Yeah. You know, the truth is nothing likes to be eaten. That's not just animals, that's plants too. Because the truth is there are many ingredients in these plant foods that can interfere, and so many people are finding these carnivorous diets where they're eliminating these offending foods are able to heal.
Yeah, and there's a lot of them. You know, you got the phytic acid, you have the nightshades, you have oxalates, you have the lectins, and all these different things that are only in plants. The animals pretty much take care of themselves if you leave them alone and don't try to feed them. They'll find the right food.
And as we saw today, what do we find when we eat the grass-fed animals? They are deuterium depleted.
That's right.
They are providing us with the water that energizes our spin head on our mitochondrial energy-making hydrogen bomb that we are, because we are the bombs.
Yeah, and of course, if they're eating the right food, then the meat is deuterium-free, and you're good to go, because the fat in there is what not only gives you the fuel, but the fat has also eliminated the deuterium for you. So it's a beautiful thing.
And like you said, you know, you may or may not want to embark on a meat-only or a zero-carb diet for the rest of your life, but it might be a worthwhile experiment to try for a few weeks or months. And this is especially true if you have stubborn fat. You suffer from autoimmune illness or syndrome with a constellation of different symptoms, and you know that you have a range of food allergies and tolerances. It's kind of getting it back down to just the basic foods.
Yep.
Many people will even look for raw seafood and beef and so forth. Maybe some, you know, ceviche or what is it when you have the raw beef? Carpaccio.
Carpaccio.
Yeah, something like that, or steak tartare, things like that, because then you've got the enzymes. So if you're really compromised, that might be a good way. You know, the meat comes ready to digest.
And of course, you have to really know where you're getting this stuff from. This is really the important part, is make sure that the meat you're getting, especially if you're eating it raw, that it's, you know, really fresh, and you know the butcher. That's important. Very interesting stuff. A lot of this will be in the next newsletter, folks. So you know, pick that up. It's only $10 a month for 2 issues. And Paige and I will see you on the next show.
I won't. I'll be in Tahoe, but Nico will take good care of you. So we'll see you all.
Take care, bye.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.